Electrolysis, which is one of my favorite topics. Today I'm gonna debunk an extremely stupid question that's saying electrons and current isn't real. Here I have a setup. For the anode and cathode are both made of normal metal, which is steel. For the electrolytes, I'm using sodium hydroxide, which is one of my favorite electrolytes because it doesn't corrode steel. And here I'm gonna attach the voltage source with current flow through. The cathode and the anode. Oxygen is produced at the anode and hydrogen is produced at the cathode. The anode attracts an ion and the cathode attracts cations. You can still hear the bubbling sound of the gas bubbles being generated. Here you can see is the current measured in amps, voltage measured in volts. A stupid question says that the electrons from the atoms which carrying the charge in electrolysis isn't the electrons that pass through the wires. Actually, they are the same electrons. Here I have a light bulb, a tiny little ones, and now I'm gonna apply this to the circuit of electrolysis cell, and the voltage source now I'm crank up to 7 volts to the light bulb. And here is the light bulb attached. When I connect it, see, it's bright up, and the cell does produce gas bubbles. Here does have current flow through. Here you can see definitely there is charge to flow through the wires and also flow through the filaments to create the light. And people say that doesn't it's also, I can prove it by using a motor to show you that is electricity of DC, because we apply the DC through it, so we'll receive as DC as well. Here see, the tank does produce bubbles and the motor does spin. I can lift the anode or cathode out and the motor stops immediately, basically showing us the electrolytes do carrying the charge around the circuit. It basically electrochemistry. And I'm gonna also use a bigger motor to show you some bigger demonstration. Here is a high power motor. Crank up the voltage a little for you to see. Apply as well the same wire for the electrolyte. The motor does spin quite a fast pace. While I lift the electrolyte out from the anode, from the electrolyte, the cathode I mean, it immediately stops. Touch it gently will still spin. That shows us even that touching can also carry the charge around. Here showing you the current and the voltage. But when we stop the motor, try to stop it, the current will increase as bubbling will start to become more vigorously. So you can measure in the current using electrolysis to see how much current has been flowed through the system by collecting the hydrogen gas or the oxygen gas as measured. For extra bonus, I'm gonna use a 60 watts lamp to showing you the real currents. And here we go. 60 watts lamp. Lift the anode. It immediately stops glowing. Touches gently. It becomes glow dimmer. We can adjust the brightness by changing the area of the electrode. The bigger the area, the more charge it can carry in the system. Now the wire becomes very hot now, because the wire carries a lot of charge, not a tiny little bit of current, a lot. This can also tell us the wire becomes hot is due to the current, as well as the current flow through the system. So why in longer transmission lines, they step up the voltage but raise down the current in order to reduce the loss during carrying transmissions. And anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time, probably another electrolysis video.